are not in your costumes, go get in your costumes right now. Parents, you too. It's super easy to put a costume together, okay? Just
be a hot dog like me.
Yeah. Be a hot dog.
I have mustard and relish. My pants are like it dripping relish out the bottom.
Or a green stick. It's like a hot dog on a green stick. That would be weird, I guess.
Move your hair so they can see you.
And Batgirl.
Batgirl.
Yeah. That's happening. I got some really cool ears that I've grown. Alright. So
Athena's with us too. She's not a costume. I just startled her.
Yeah. She's wearing a Wonder Woman collar though, so that she can like fit in with us because we're super cool.
Danielle and
Athena
are
likes
superheroes.
Athena likes to eat hot dogs, so she might be sniffing Megan the entire time.
It's hard to know if I'm a real hot dog or a pretend hot dog. Who knows?
It's that good.
It's a pretty good costume. It's a little smushed on top, but
it's okay.
I'm here for it.
You're really good.
Thanks.
All right, let's get started with our game.
Yes, let's do that. So, if you want to play this game too, if you have Easter eggs in your house or like little ping pong balls or marbles, I don't know. And
any kind of small ball that'll fit into a cup.
Yes, and a cup. Pause us and go get those right now, and then you can play. We're just going to assume that you paused, and we're going to go stand up on our chairs.
Cool.
So here's how you play this game. Can you see our heads? This is funny.
All right,
Okay.
let me move us back a tiny bit.
We have two recordings going on right now, so if one of you can't see us, it's probably because the other one can, and vice versa, but it's going to be great. Whoop, whoop.
We're ready.
Whoop. Okay, so here's how you play. You see we have cups in front of us, and we have Easter eggs, and we are going to see who can get the most Easter eggs in first, and whoever fills up their cup first is the winner.
Okay.
But the thing we have to do is use dino arms. Athena is sniffing this one.
Athena, we got two cameras, and if you want to see Athena sniffing, just tune into this exact moment on the other video at IngomarKids.
And you can see Athena's whole face in the camera. So good. It's this one, the one I'm looking directly at right now. Not this one. Okay. So the trick with this game, though, is you have to have dino arms. So the cups are a little bit out in front of us. This is going to be really hard because my mustard's kind of getting in the way. But we're going to go for it. So we probably should have put on some game music, but we're not going to because it's all the way over there, and we're over here. And Athena can do many things, but that's not one of them.
No. Next week.
Yes.
I'll work on it for next week.
She's going to be trained.
She'll be our media tech person.
All right, so...
I need another one.
Are you using two?
You're using two.
Oh, right.
There it is.
Okay. On your mark. Get set. Go.
Yeah!
Oh, no!
Ah!
Oh, I'm so close!
I'm just gonna make dinosaur noises like. Hey,
Yes!
go.
Okay.
Two! No! Oh, my one didn't bounce down!
Doesn't count.
No!
Eh.
Oh, it bounced out again! Come on!
Oh, mine bounced out too.
Doesn't count. Yeah!
Ooh, we're tied 2-2.
We just going until these are out, I guess.
At this point, I think...
Our floor looks like an egg fest. Yeah!
Oh! I think Danielle's gonna win. Oops, that egg fell apart.
Oh, man.
Ah!
Roar. dinosaur noses.
Roar! I think that's the end.
Nope, there are 2 more
Oh,
for
okay.
each of us.
All right,
Ready?
all right.
Here we go.
Last 2.
Roar.
Roar!
Ah.
Roar! All
Got
right,
3.
I got 2. Danielle is the winner of this round. Did you win? How many eggs did you get? Or ping pong balls or marbles or whatever?
Did you beat 3? Did you beat 3?
Did you beat 2?
I beat 2.
Danielle's really good at games, and I'm just a hot dog.
I was going to say that's because I have 2 brothers, but you've got brothers.
I also have 2 brothers. Fun fact, an older and a younger.
Ditto!
Middle child.
Twinsies!
We're both middle children. Middle children.
Unite!
Oh, ooh. I'm really
She's
high.
literally raising the roof right now.
Whoop, whoop. I won't break the ceiling, I promise.
We should probably move these eggs so we don't shift during worship. But are you guys ready to get your worship on?
Woo!
Go ahead, clean up those eggs or whatever you use because I don't want your parents to email Megan and me and go, oh, you made a mess and my kids didn't clean up. So that would be bad. I'm just going to kick them off for now because that's how I clean up, you know. All right. Get ready to worship. We're going to move the camera a little bit so you can look at the hot dog cleaning up the chairs.
Yeah, I'm going to move you guys too so you can be a little more center.
All right.
There we go.
Now we can tap my foot. All right. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to do, what song are we doing first?
Every beat.
Every beat, that's it. Every beat first, and then we're going to do Who You Say I Am. Boop. All right. Are you standing up and dancing?
You better be.
You make the darkness run and hide. You bring the broken back to life. Only you can, only you can. You set me free from every chain. You fill my heart with songs of praise. Only you can, only you can.
Wait a minute.
Jesus, you're the only reason that I'm even breathing. I am wide awake. My heart beats only for your glory. My hands reach, I feel you hold. My soul sings, Father, you are holy. My feet dance to rhythm. Every beat is calling, every beat is calling out your name. Only you can. My heart beats only for your glory. My hands reach, I feel you hold me. My soul sings, Father, you are holy. My feet dance to rhythm. Every beat is calling, every beat is calling out your name. Every beat is calling, every beat is calling out your name.
All right, guys, pump it out. All right, Jesus. Ready?
Jesus, you're the only reason that I'm even breathing. I am wide awake. Your freedom is consuming. I feel it rushing through me. I'll never be the same. My heart beats only for your glory. My hands reach, I feel you hold me. My soul calling out your name.
Ooh, you know what's really hot? My
Being a
hot dog.
Whew. Who knew life was so hard as a hot dog?
Life is really hard as a hot dog. Oh man.
Let's bring it down anyway. Who I say? Who you say?
Who am I that the highest king would welcome me? I was lost, but he brought me in. Oh, his love for me. Oh, his love for me. Who the Son sets free, who is free indeed. I'm a child of God. Yes, I am. Through your last He has ransomed me. His grace runs deep. While I was a slave to sin, Jesus died for me. Yes, He died for me. Who the Son sets free, who is free indeed. I'm a child of God. Yes, I am. My Father's house, there's a place for me. I'm a child of God. Yes, I am.
Sing this part out really loud to God, guys.
I am chosen, not forsaken. I am who you say I am. You are for me, not against me. I am who you say I am. I am chosen, not forsaken. I am who you say I am. You are for me, not against me. I am who you say I am. I am chosen, not forsaken. I am who you say I am. You are for me, not against me. I am who you say I am. Oh, I am who you say I am. Yes, I am who you say I am. Who the Son sets free, who is free indeed. I'm a child of God. Yes, I am. My Father's house, there's a place for me. I'm a child of God. Yes, I am. My Father's house, there's a place for me. I'm a child of God. Yes, I am.
Nice job.
You know what I love?
What do you love?
That Jesus loves me even when I worship in a hot dog costume.
And I was just thinking, like, where else would you see a dinosaur, a moose, a hot dog, and Batgirl worship? Right here at Ingomar Church. What? Because we're that awesome.
That awesome.
That
Whoop,
awesome.
whoop.
Yeah. Jump it. All right, we're going to move it again. Sorry, guys. I'm so movie. Boom. All right, and we're going to talk about our story. My Batgirl belt moved a little bit. Ready? Still here. Hi, that's my hand. I'm going to bring in my notes. Now, I have a task for all of you. And that task is that you have to make stuff for our story. So, here it is. Go grab a marker and a bunch of pieces of paper right now. Pause and go. Pause and go. Pause and go. Pause and go. funny that sometimes Megan and I are like, pause and go, and then we like wait around like we're like pausing, but really it's just pausing and then we're going on to the next thing anyway, so it doesn't really matter. All right, now here's what you have to draw. On the first one, a stack of money. Stack of money. On the second one, you're going to draw, oh, I forgot what you're going to draw actually. Let me get it. You're going to draw a party horn. Second one, party horn. Second one, party horn.
What's a party horn?
Oh, a party horn's like, you like either can honk it like that and it's like, or you can like put it in your mouth and you're like the things. I don't know what that's called. That thing. Yeah. All right, third one. Moving on. A pig's face. A pig's face. Fourth one is a sad face. Fifth one is a happy face. And the last one is a grumpy face. Or like an angry face. I had to look up grumpy face when I did mine, guys. No joke, because I was like, what's the difference between a sad face and a grumpy face? Grumpy face is more like mad. All right, so I've got my paper. And hopefully you have yours. Because what I want you to do is I want you to put the stack in front of you and flip it to the paper, or you can like lay out the paper in front of you and hold up or put in front of you the one that has to do with our story. Got it? You got to do this along with me so that it's not just me. Deal? Deal. Okay. Now, before we get right into our story, I do want to talk to you about something. Have you guys ever, like, missed out on something because you didn't do another thing? For example, when I was a kid, I would always have to like do my chores or do my homework, and if I didn't do that, I was not allowed to do the extra thing that I wanted to, like go to soccer or go to a party that my friends were having, or I didn't really go to parties if I'm being honest, or hang out with family during family night. If I didn't do what I was supposed to do, then I had to miss out on something. Has that ever happened to you guys? I'm sure it has. It's happened to me a couple of times. And it really stinks because I'm like, oh man, if I only would have. If I only would have. Then, how about in a different way missing out, where maybe it's not that you just didn't do something, but it was that you got angry at someone and then missed out. Like, if you got angry at your parents, so then you're like, I'm definitely not going to be part of family night if I'm angry at my parents. And then you sit in your room and you're like sulking, and then you hear them having fun out there, and you're like, I totally missed out on something fun. They're definitely having ice cream right now, and I'm not allowed to have it because I'm angry, and I got to stay in my room and prove that I'm angry, right? Been there. Been there. Or if a friend accidentally spreads a rumor about you or forgets to invite you to a party, and then you're like, I'm so angry at them, I'm not going to talk to them. And then you miss out on having a friendship with them. Maybe that friendship doesn't go on from there. These are all things that happen sometimes. They've all happened to me at some point, or else I wouldn't have these examples to give to you. And those things have to do with our story today. Now remember last week we talked about the dad with the two sons, right? It was like a show. My dad with two sons, or the dad with his two sons. I don't know. Figure out a title to that show's name. Got it? And put it in the comments. If this story had a show title, what would it be? Put it down there. Okay. So, older son, younger son, dad. Got it? We're going to go through this story really quickly because we're going to continue it today. But we all heard it last week, so let's refresh our memories. This is where we're going to need part of our papers. I'm going to start off with a paper that you guys did not have to do, and that is the farmhouse, because our story takes place at a farmhouse, guys, right? The dad and the two sons live on a farm, and then all of a sudden, you guys ready? Younger son goes, man, Dad, I just really want to leave, so can I have my share? Isn't this the best Benjamin Franklin you've ever seen in your life? Just saying. Best. Man, can I have my my share of the money? I know that we technically only get it when you die, but, we can have it now, right? So then the dad gives him his money, and the son goes, buys fancy things. That part is not part of yours. And parties. That's my party horn. It's like one where you honk it. And then he goes and he parties and he spends all of his money, guys. Every single part of it. And then he's hungry and so hungry. And he ends up going to work on a pig farm. Best pig ever, right? So cute. He goes to work on a pig farm and gets really hungry while he's there. And almost eats the pig slop, which is really, really disgusting, and I don't think I would ever think about eating pig slop. I don't know about you guys. Then he's like, you know what, why am I going to eat pig slop when my dad has servants, and he feeds them really well and gives them a place to live, so I should probably go home and beg him to take me back so that I can have blah, 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 blah. So then he gets ready, he goes off to see his dad, and while he's walking, his dad sees him, and his dad is like, what? It's my son! He's back! He runs to him and he hugs him. And he says, I'm so excited you're home. Don't even worry about it. He clothes him in all his fine robes. And then he's like, listen, this is what I'm going to do. We're going to throw a party in your honor. I like to imagine that, everybody was invited to this party, the whole town. His dad sends off the servants, and he's like, go find everybody you can and tell them there's a party, because my son, he was lost, but now he's found. What? And so everybody is super excited. There's this party for the youngest son who's back, but something happens. Oh no, Megan, I don't know if this turned off. And there's not everybody who's happy in Jesus' story, right? Remember, this is a parable that Jesus is telling people because he's teaching them that everybody makes mistakes. So, there's somebody who's sad, right? Who do you think that is? The people that Jesus is telling the story to. That's who. It's not who you thought it was going to be. Was it? Was it? The people who Jesus is telling the story to was they were I listen to you, and I read my Bible, and I talk to God all the time, so I don't think what you're saying is right, because I'm like the older brother here, and that makes me sad that the younger brother gets a party. So then Jesus continues with his story, and this is where we left off last week. Go to your final one, the grumpy face. Now, who do you think is grumpy in this story? That's right. If you said older brother, you are correct. Because older brother comes in and he's out in the field, and then he comes closer to the house and he hears some music, and he sees people dancing and excited and blowing their party horns. And he's like, I don't know what's going on, but something's going on. So he grabs a servant and he asks them. And I'm going to read this from the Bible. So if you're going to follow along, grab your Bibles, please. And you're going to go to the book of Luke, one of the Gospels. It's in the New Testament, right? Matthew, Mark, Luke, John. So it's the third gospel. We're going to go to Luke. And it's chapter 15. I'm almost there, guys. Almost there. I should have bookmarked this for you. But now you have time to go look it up yourself. All right. Whew. It's hard to see through these masks. All right. We're going to look it up. And the older brother, in verse 28, it says, blah, 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 Jesus says, the older brother was angry and wouldn't go into the party. His father came down and begged him. So the brother's going to miss out on this party. Do you see where I'm going with this yet? The brother's going to miss out on this party because he's so angry. Grumpy face. I feel like that's a Despicable Me thing, right? Doesn't she go, oh, grumpy face? I don't know. Okay, moving on. So let's see what the dad says next, or what the brother says to the dad. The older brother says, all of these years I've slaved for you. I've never once refused to do a single thing you told me to. And in all that time, you never gave me even one young goat or a feast with my friends. Yet, when this son of yours comes comes back after squandering your money, you celebrate by killing a fattened calf. So basically, older son is like, listen, Dad, I work for you. I do my chores. I listen to you. I even make your own bed. I don't know if he does that. And you don't let me have parties that have cool food and all of this good stuff. But when my brother, who took your money, remember that? You remember when he came and asked for your money and it was so rude and you were like heartbroken? Ugh! And then he went and he spent it all and now he comes back. You're going to give him a party? You're going to give him a party. Does that seem fair? That's how the brother talks in my head, just in case you're wondering. Let's hear what the dad replies. Are you guys ready? The father said to him, look, dear son, you have always stayed with me, and everything I have is yours. We had to celebrate this happy day, for your brother was dead and came back to life. He was lost, but he is now found. So the brother wasn't really dead, right? Jesus didn't bring him back to life. This isn't even a story that Jesus is telling the story. But it was like he was dead to the family, right? It was like he was shunned. He closed himself, shunned himself from the family. He took his money and left without ever thinking he was going to come back home. That was his plan. He didn't want to come back home. He had to come back home. So the dad is super excited. He's saying, look at this. We have to celebrate. Your brother was lost. He's back. We have to be grateful that he is back home with us. But this doesn't change anything in the brother's mind, does it? You know what? We actually don't find out. We never find out. Jesus doesn't finish the story. He never tells us if the brother ends up going in and forgiving his brother, or if he stays out in that field and sulks in the angriness. I hope he goes in, because think about the things he would miss out on. And I'm not just talking about the big party and the lots of people that are in that party. I'm talking about the relationship with his brother and the relationship with his father. If he doesn't go in and forgive his brother, that anger is going to stay inside of him. And he's going to have that until he decides he's going to forgive him, until he works that out. What about with his dad? He's going to resent his dad for a very long time unless he chooses to let it go. That's right, just use a Frozen phrase. Let it go. The same thing is true for us. We all make mistakes, right? We know how it feels to be forgiven. It feels good. We've talked about this. It feels like there's a weight lifted off of us. But what about when somebody does something to us? When we forgive them, right? Then not only does it feel good for that person, but it helps us so we don't miss out on something. When we forgive, we don't miss out. If we choose not to forgive, we might be missing out on something. Whether that is a cool party, or a relationship with a friend, or a dad, or a sibling, or a mom, or anybody. So we have to learn to forgive and let go. Remember that feeling, what it feels like to be forgiven. And it gets a little bit easier to forgive when you remember that feeling. But that doesn't mean it's easy at all. Because sometimes when somebody does something wrong to us, we feel like we can't forgive them. That's not fair. They don't deserve to be forgiven. The hard part is putting your feet in their shoes and thinking about how it feels to them and what you're missing out on. Now, something you can do to help yourself to feel okay with forgiving is work it out with God. Talk about it with God. Last Sunday, Pastor Greg talked about self-examination and going for a walk and having that talk with God about what's going on in your life and looking at yourself. This is one of those things that he was talking about. What does it look like for you to forgive them? What would it cost you for you to forgive them? What would it cost you to not forgive them? Work it out with God, and he'll help you. All right, we're going to pray, and then I think we have a few announcements to make. So, we're going to pray. Ready? God, thank you so much for bringing us to Prime Time together as a family through the internet. Please help us this week to look inward at ourselves and who we need to forgive and what it feels like to be forgiven. Remind us, help us to get to those places where we can forgive so that we don't miss out on some great things. Keep us safe, keep us healthy, and continue to love us and show us how to love others. In your name we pray, everybody said, amen. All right, announcement time. Do you want to go first, Megan?
Sure. So, this week for youth group, we are having Root at 5 o'clock on Sunday, tomorrow. We're going to do a Zoom call this week for Root. And then we'll be back together on Wednesday for another Zoom call at 7:30. So, we also will be starting a new quarantine challenge starting on Monday. 2 more weeks of challenges. Don't forget to look on social media or have your parents check their emails to get those challenges. And lastly, on April 3rd, we are having a family scavenger hunt for middle school and high school, and you need to get your family team together. It's going to be awesome. Check your email for details on that too. What?
Cool. So, in case you haven't heard, our church building will be closed in-person gatherings until April 13th. So that's why there's 2 more weeks of quarantine challenges. And yeah, tune in tomorrow to Ingomar Church's YouTube channel for a streaming of our worship service at 11 a.m. Monday night, for Blaze Kids 4th and 5th graders, look out for a new lesson video that will Zoom on Thursday. And we will also be doing an IngomarKids family scavenger hunt. And so parents, watch out in your emails for more information about how to participate in that, how to register for it. It'll be coming. It'll be awesome. If your parents aren't watching, tell them to look out for that email. Cool. All right. We're going to say goodbye. Love somebody today. Show an act of kindness to somebody today. Deal? All right. Later, kiddos.